Hello, hello. Welcome back to my studio. Just getting started. Forgot to put my apron on. I always feel better when I have my apron on because it protects my clothing from the paint. I'm usually careful not to get paint on my clothes, but like old saying, artist has only two kinds of clothes. One that already has paint on, and the other one is the clothes that you will get paint on. Just matter of time. Okay, so today I'm using my favorite primary colors for the limited palette. It's permanent rose, ultramarine blue by Rembrandt, cadmium lemon yellow from Utrecht, and titanium white from Gambling. Also, I'm using the solvent-free gel from Gambling. Since this is not the first layer of the painting, I prefer using some kind of medium for this subsequent layers. And you may be wondering which kind of paint and blend you should be using. My honest opinion, it really doesn't matter. But in case you're wondering, I have a list of my art supplies that I use personally and for my painting lessons in the description of this video. But you don't really need to use the same brand for everything. Whatever you can find, the most important thing is that you find the color with the same pigment number. Like this one is PB29. Because each brand has different naming system, so you may not be able to find exactly the same color at the art supply store, but it doesn't mean that they are you can substitute with different brand. So I already mixed some of my custom black So this is just made of these three primary colors, mainly permanent rose and ultramarine blue, with a hint of yellow to desaturate this dark purple. I'm just getting ready with my reference image for this project. I have a Samsung tablet. Okay. If you're watching this, I don't know where you're watching from. I'm in Washington State. First, I'm gonna prepare some of these basic colors on the palette. Then I will keep modifying those basic colors as I go. Like I said, I already have my custom black on the palette mixed from the 3 primary colors. So I'm gonna create some of this light color. So start out with cadmium yellow. Okay. This is a little too orange. I'm gonna save this as my orange for later. I'm using I'm using glass, tempered glass for my mixing palette. And it's just propped up on the easel so that I can show how I'm mixing my colors. Now I'm gonna lighten and cool down a little bit with white. I'm gonna mix shadow version of this. I'm gonna use this custom black because it already has blue and red in it, so it's easy to desaturate and darken this color. So each time I reach into my original piles of the colors, I'm wiping my palette knife. Or if I'm using brush, I try to remember to wipe it with paper towel so that I don't contaminate these clean colors. Now I think this is a little bit too greenish, so I'm adding red and yellow from my orange that I spared earlier. Okay, now I'm gonna need a little bit more of this dark color. Okay, go a little bit darker. Typically, when I mixing color, I try to adjust the tonal value first, meaning how dark the color is. Then I will modify the color temperature with additional colors. Okay, now I can add more rose. I think I'm gonna put some of this extra rose on the side as my standby color. I'm gonna test this on the canvas to see if I like this or not. Okay, close enough. I'm gonna put this on the side so I don't have to keep wiping my tools to reach into the clean colors. So I'm going to add this to modify. White is always considered cooler color, and it also lightens the value. I think it needs more blue. I'm trying to darken the value on the shadow side of her face as I go, because I think it needs to be darkened. It's a little more reddish color around her eye, so I'm warming this up. Maybe a hint of orange. I normally don't use pre-made orange like cadmium orange. Although I have it in my toolbox, I like mixing my orange from my limited palette. So in this painting project, I'm going for more impressionistic style. So I'm layering more more variation of the similar colors to create the visual interest. So for that, I'm using the small filbert brush. This is number 2 filbert brush from Robert Simon's Signet series. This is a hog hair brush. So the hair is pretty stiff, natural hog hair. I'm squinting my eyes to see more value here. I think I'm going to create a cooler version of this yellow ochre. Since I already have established the tonal value with this pinkish yellow ochre here, it's easier for me to create a variation of this in the same value. So this is more yellowish version. Now I'm going to create more bluish version. You see, I'm linking these colors so that I can see them relating with each other rather than scattering the color piles here and there. I want to be a lot more cool and bluish, so I'm adding white. Then I'm gonna compensate the darkness with blue. Might have to add more rose into this, but that's okay. One of the common questions I get from my student in painting class is, what color did I use to mix this particular color? And my answer is, well, three of these, three of these primary colors, because that's all we have. That's the great advantage of using a limited palette, because you already have a few colors, as few as just 3, and you are also training your eyes to judge the colors. This is still greenish, so I'm gonna add more blue and white. You see, I'm creating the reflected light of the blue sky, especially on top of on top of her face, like right here. By mixing these basic colors at the beginning, I can move my brushes even faster, so it's worth taking time. Now I can add a little bit more rose to make this more like lavender. Okay, maybe I'm gonna mix more of this pinkish ochre here. I'm trying to stay in the family of yellow ochre here, so it's not too jumpy. keep squinting my eyes to see these three colors will blend with each other as the same value. Another way to cheat is to use your phone. Then you can use editor to see if I can get this closer to the same value with each other. So in the filter mode, I can bring this to the grayscale. So you see, this is the grayscale version. So according to this, the middle color is darker than the other two. So I'm going to test this on my painting. Okay. So that's the right value. That means I just need to lighten this color. A little bit more rose to neutralize this green. So it looks more like green. See that I have a piece of gray paper, neutral gray paper behind the glass palette. Trying to see if I can take grayscale photo without going into photo editor every time. Okay, my fingers got paint on them, so I'm cleaning with baby wipes. Baby wipes are great for cleaning hands covered with paint. I use it for charcoal, cleaning charcoal stain on my fingers too. Let's see. I'm creating another layer of video so I can show you the grayscale real time. Then I'm gonna add filter to this for desaturation. There you go. Oh, that affects the entire video. Okay, I can just turn on and off the grayscale filter I just added to this camera inside OBS. That's cool. Okay, I can rename this. Oh, okay. Okay, now I'm gonna check this again. That's a little too light. This one needs to be a bit darker. And adding back more palette rose. So palette rose and ultramarine are very dark. So whenever you add them, they darken the color you're mixing. I'm looking at my palette, but you guys are looking at the grayscale version on the through my camera. So if you were to be doing this on your own, you can just take a snapshot of your color that you're mixing with your smartphone, and then review it in your image editor using the grayscale filter inside the editor. Pretty good. Okay. One notch darker. Or almost. It takes a lot of patience and perseverance to achieve the color you want, but the result is amazing. Just using this up, more blue and more custom black to darken it. Okay, that's pretty good. Now I'm just consolidating all this color in each pile. So they got to spread out so thin. Okay, now I'm gonna change this back to the full color mode. I can test this on Amazon. Now I can use these colors to paint the shadow area of her face. Of course, I'm gonna keep adjusting the value to make it more three-dimensional. So there will be more bluish tone on the surface that facing the blue sky, and a little bit warmer down here because getting the reflected light from the pavement where she's standing on. So if she's in the pasture, it's probably going to be more greenish. Now I'm also creating kind of half tone between the bright yellow and the shadow color. Right now, I'm ignoring the halter on her head. Kind of grazing this shadow color on top of the existing layer, because I'm just making small adjustment. The canvas is already covered. So I'm measuring how far this shadow on the neckline comes out. Didn't need to do that. Right now I'm going for big color masses, then I'm gonna add more detail later. This is a little bit lighter down here because of reflected light from the ground. Just making just one notch darker behind her chin. collecting the value. And temperature, it's a little lighter here. No, I mean cooler. I'm stepping back. I mean, I'm pushing my office chair away from the table so I can see the bigger picture. Now I have all these 3 variations for the shadow color. I can use my palette knife to start adding some interesting texture. Look at the reference image, see how far down it comes. Get a little bit lighter closer to her head. So I started out with a little bit more saturated and darker colors, and as I keep using, they get more muted. Just collecting the temperature here. There's a little bit of separation between her front legs and her belly. Wrong color. So this bluish tone indicates that it's facing the sky. Just comes down almost like this. So this cyan is slightly lighter than the surrounding. Try not to cover the area like house paint. Okay, that means I need to lighten this area too. By flipping this upside down, I'm talking about canvas, I can kind of see this like a completely different painting project that I'm not familiar with. So I have to pay extra attention. So this bright yellow is basically the little bit darker version of the lit side. So anything darker than that should be fine as my shadow color. In case you're wondering, I will show you what the actual sky blue looks like. Don't need this much blue, but just gonna mix pure sky blue next to it. want to turn on that magic filter. So here is the grayscale view through my webcam. I'm looking at the actual colors in person, but you guys get to see the grayscale version through my webcam. Okay, so this is the mixture of just titanium white and ultramarine blue, and it looks so much brighter, but you just saw what it looks like in grayscale through my webcam with the grayscale filter. But this is way more desaturated, like almost like gray, just like the gray paper on the background, in the background of my glass palette. So let's see what happens if I just blend these two out here. I don't know, maybe, but this would definitely work on this. Maybe. I'm scribbling sky blue here. Now, since I have I have another oil color called cerulean blue. cerulean blue. That's cobalt blue. All right, so this is cerulean blue pure from Utrecht. I'm gonna see if I can use this. This is not the this is not included in the limited color palette that I used in my beginners color mixing class, but I wanna see if I can mimic this. So as you can see, it's way too dark. You usually want to use some titanium white to lighten this. So this has a little bit of yellow or maybe the green tint. So I'm trying to see if I can modify my blue, sky blue color with this ultramarine blue plus a little bit of cadmium lemon yellow. I want to do it by small amount. I'm gonna have to add a little bit more white. Oh, try not to touch the cerulean blue with white. Can you get more blue back in there? And white. This color mixing exercise really train your eyes to see the nuanced colors. that the average people cannot see. It just takes some deliberate training. I desaturated too much with yellow. So, well, not desaturated, but I added too much yellow and it looks more greenish. So I'm bringing back more sky blue with hint of white in it. It seems tedious, but once you master this color mixing skill and skills to see the colors, you can do so much better reproducing the color you see in nature. At least close enough that other people cannot tell the difference. Well, unless you are going for photorealistic painting style, you even don't need to mimic the same color in the real world. But okay, so in my opinion, maybe it's a little bit duller, but it's so subtle that you can't really tell the difference between cerulean blue pure with white and custom cerulean blue mixed with ultramarine blue and lemon yellow. You see the problem with other type of yellow, like cadmium yellow medium or cadmium yellow light, they have a little bit, they lean more toward red, not toward blue. And the lemon yellow tends to go slightly toward like fresh green. So when you want to mix that, when you mix that with blue, it doesn't contain any red that desaturates. But the problem with ultramarine blue is that unlike cobalt blue or phthalo blue, it has a hint of magenta or red in it. It's more like dark violet. So when you make green from that, it's slightly desaturated already, but not enough to use that mixed green by itself. It still will look agaric. So you need to modify that with other colors if we want to paint natural looking green in typical landscape. All right, now I have this. Let's see. First of all, let's see how it does this. Okay, I can see. Maybe I'll add a little bit more white. I'm gonna bring back some of this. Muted magenta here. It doesn't look too blue. This is one way to desaturate the saturated color layer. Okay, now I can see that her muzzle, her nose needs to be a little bit darker in value, so there's more contrast. I'm gonna fix the temperature. I'm gonna work on the detail later. Right, I think this is a good stopping point. I'm gonna continue in the next session. So thank you for watching. See you later. Bye.